Okay. In angiosperms, fertilization is seen as double, where there is triple fission and syngamy both are taking place. Triple fission is responsible for formation of primary endosperm nucleus, which is precursor, and zygote is formed upon syngamy, where there is fusion of a male gamete with egg cell. Okay, syngamy is possible for formation of zygote. That zygote is the precursor for embryo. So embryo and primary endosperm nucleus are the resultants of double fertilization in angiosperm. That embryo will modify into, embryo is developed from zygote. Zygote will modify into embryo, apoptotic division. And primary endosperm nucleus, which is the result of triple fission, will modify into endosperm. Okay. See, the formation of endosperm and embryo are the post-fertilization events. Once the embryo is formed, that embryo will develop into seed. Then fruit will also develop and seed will detach from plant. Seed will undergo dispersal and seed will germinate and give new plants. That is the life cycle of angiosperm. Anyway, see, in previous class we discussed about the modifications that are taking place during post-fertilization. Different parts of flower are modifying. Calyx, corolla, they will wither off, they will fall down. Even stamens will also fall down. Coming to carpel, in carpel style and sigma will wither off or fall down. Ovary will develop into fruit, ovule will develop into seed, and different parts of ovule are modified. Nucleus of ovule is modified into seed sac. Calaza is there. That is usually withering off or degenerating, but it is persistent, then it is called as perisperm. You know. Okay, zygote will develop into embryo, primary endosperm nucleus will develop into endosperm. Integments of ovule will modify into such seed coats like testa and tegmen. Outer integument of ovule will modify into outer seed coats. Inner integument of ovule will modify into inner seed coats. Micropyle will modify into seed pore, which is responsible for absorption of water. And some other parts like hilum. Hilum will modify into seed scare. Like that, some changes we already discussed. Okay, see one by one. In post-fertilization event, post-fertilization involves two events majorly. One is endosperm formation. Second one is embryo development. Embryogenesis and endosperm formation are the two major steps that are taking place after fertilization. Post-fertilization involves endosperm formation and embryo development. Why? Here, if you see this, before going to that reason, if you see this, first the endosperm formation takes place, then embryogenesis takes place. Embryogenesis will not take place at first. Always the endosperm is formed first, then the embryo will form. See here, how there is formation, primary endosperm nucleus will develop into endosperm, you know, and zygote, which is also called as oospore. Zygote is also called oospore, that will develop into embryo. Among these two stages, first stage is always endosperm formation. Here, endosperm formation will always proceeded by embryogenesis. Embryogenesis will not take place at first. For the development of embryo, endosperm should form first. Why? Because endosperm, what is endosperm? Endosperm is a nutritive tissue that is formed after fertilization, and this nutritive tissue is used for the embryogenesis. For the development of embryo, there is requirement of some food material or nutrient. That food material is provided by endosperm. So endosperm will form first, later embryo will develop. That is the main reason. See, events of endosperm and this embryo development both are responsible for the maturation of ovule into seed. Once this primary endosperm nucleus is modified into endosperm and zygote will develop into embryo, then ovule is said to be matured into seed, then fruit will mature into, sorry, ovule is modified into or matured into seed, ovary will mature into fruit. So that fruit formation, seed formation completes, then seed will germinate into new plants. That is the formation. Okay, see first one, endosperm formation. What is endosperm? Someone is making noise. Who is this G7 Roja? Endosperm. Endosperm is a nutritive tissue that is required for the development of embryo. It is a nutritive tissue. This nutritive tissue is formed first, then it provides nourishment for the development of this developing embryo. Okay, its endosperm develops from what? Primary endosperm nucleus by mitosis. Primary endosperm nucleus, which is a result of triple fission, where bipolar nuclei and second male gamete fuse to give primary endosperm nucleus, that is called as a triple fission, right? The product of triple fission, which is primary endosperm nucleus, is undergoing mitosis. With the help of mitosis, it grows and there is formation of more number of cells. There is formation of a mass of nutritive tissue. There is formation of mass. Mass means more amount. That nutritive tissue which is formed in high amounts by mitosis from primary endosperm nucleus is called endosperm. This endosperm is a nutritive tissue that is developed from primary endosperm nucleus by mitosis. Okay, where mitosis is rapid, with the point of mitosis, there is formation of more amount of nutritive tissue. That a mass of nutritive tissue formed from primary endosperm nucleus by mitosis is called as endosperm. Okay, here this endosperm accumulates food reserve. Endosperm accumulates food reserve. During this mitosis, cells are dividing. Along with that, they absorb food from the developing tissue, and that food is accumulated and it provides nutrition for developing embryo. For the developing embryo, food is provided by the food reserve, which is stored in endosperm. Okay, see here, as endosperm is providing food reserve for the developing embryo, first there should be formation of endosperm. So, endosperm must develop before embryo, because without food, embryogenesis will not take place. For the developing embryo, food is provided by endosperm, so endosperm is first forming. If endosperm is not formed at beginning, then embryogenesis is not proper. So for better embryogenesis, endosperm should form before the embryo development. This is very important point. Okay, see here, normally this endosperm, as it is formed from primary endosperm nucleus, and it is undergoing mitosis, right? As it is mitosis, this endosperm is triploid in nature. Triploid. How triploid endosperm is developed? See, primary endosperm nucleus is formed upon fusion of second male gamete and two polar nuclei present in the central cell. As two polar nuclei present in the central cell, the two nuclei have two sets of chromosomes. They are haploid only. Each polar nuclei in embryo sac, central cell of embryo sac, are haploid. So bipolar nuclei means one haploid, and one second male gamete. There is formation of a triploid primary endosperm nucleus. that triploid primary endosperm nucleus is undergoing mitosis. So endosperm is always triploid, but in gymnosperms, this endosperm is haploid. Very important point. This we discussed already in plant kingdom. In plant kingdom of 11th portions, we discussed already. Gymnosperms produce haploid endosperm because it is developing from megaspore. In angiosperms, endosperm is forming from primary endosperm nucleus. In gymnosperms, endosperm is haploid as it develops from megaspore. There is no triple fission in gymnosperms. Gymnosperms show only one fertilization, syngamy only. There is no triple fission. If triple fission is there, then there is formation of triploid CEN that will develop into triploid endosperm. But in gymnosperms, there is no triple fission. Megaspore is formed upon meiosis. That megaspore is haploid. Haploid megaspore undergoes mitotic division and produces haploid endosperm directly. That is important feature. Okay, here this endosperm is formed and this endosperm is consumed for developing embryo. It is consumed for developing embryo, but that consumption of endosperm by the developing embryo will be complete or incomplete. Okay, so soon after embryogenesis. Soon after embryogenesis means once endosperm is formed, that endosperm is being consumed for the developing embryo, right? Okay. See, soon after embryogenesis. First endosperm is formed, that endosperm is used as a food reserve for the developing embryo. Once embryogenesis is complete, once embryo is completely formed from that zygote, then it undergoes decomposition or this endosperm undergoes degradation or degeneration. Usually it degenerates. Degenerate means it is consumed fully. Endosperm degenerates. If not degenerated fully, if it is not degenerated fully, or if it is consumed only partially, not all parts of the endosperm is used by embryo, or endosperm is not fully consumed for the developing of embryo, then seed have endosperm. That seeds have endosperm. Based on the presence of this endosperm in seeds are of two types. That after the formation of embryo, this endosperm development, then I will explain the types. Soon after the embryogenesis, endosperm will normally degenerating. If it is degenerated fully, seed have no endosperm. But if it is not degenerated fully, then some of the endosperm may remain in the seed itself. That seeds are called as endospermic seeds, and the seeds which do not have endosperm after the formation of embryo. If endosperm is fully consumed for the developing of embryo, that seeds are called as non-endospermic seeds. The type of seeds we will discuss later. Okay. Here, but in some plants, endosperm formation is what we can say completely, endosperm development is completely suppressed in some plants, like orchidaceae. In some plants like orchidaceae, endosperm development is fully suppressed. That means endosperm is not formed. Directly embryo may develop, but in not all plants. All plants require endosperm formation before the embryogenesis, but in some plants like Orchidaceae, endosperm development is fully suppressed. There is no development of endosperm before the embryo formation. That is a characteristic feature of this Orchidaceae. Okay, this is about endosperm. If you see endosperm types, based on the cell division that are taking place during endosperm formation from primary endosperm nucleus, based on cell division in endosperm, how that cells are dividing. This endosperm is of three types. One is free nuclear endosperm or nuclear endosperm, cellular endosperm, and kilobial endosperm. Free nuclear endosperm, cellular endosperm, and kilobial endosperm. Like that, we can find three types of endosperm based on the cell division that is taking place during the development of endosperm from primary endosperm nucleus. The primary endosperm nucleus is developing into endosperm. During that cell division, based on the type of cell division taking place during the development of endosperm from primary endosperm nucleus, how cells are dividing during endosperm development. Based on that, it is three types. One is nuclear endosperm. You already know the example. Suppose take coconut water. Coconut water is an example to nuclear endosperm. Okay. In plant kingdom, we might discuss this, not fully, but briefly we discussed this. Okay, see now, nuclear endosperm. What is this nuclear endosperm means? It is most common type of endosperm present in angiosperm. Most common type in angiosperm. In angiosperms, we will see a common type of endosperm called as nuclear endosperm. Okay, see here how this nuclear endosperm is formed. Primary endosperm nucleus divides mitotically. By mitosis, there is a division of primary endosperm nucleus. During this mitosis, what happens? Divides mitotically. Only nuclear division and no cell division or no cell wall formation. Nuclear division is only taking place. There is no formation of cell wall for every karyokinesis. Normally, what should happen during cell division? See, if a cell is there, cell divides. First, nucleus will divide into two nuclei. Okay, by the end of karyokinesis, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. By the end of karyokinesis, two nuclei will form. After that, cell will divide into two cells. Cell wall will form. This is called as cytokinesis. First, nucleus will divide. That is called as karyokinesis. Next, cell will divide or cell wall will form. That is called as cytokinesis. So, for cell division, there must be karyokinesis followed by cytokinesis. But in this type of nuclear endosperm, karyokinesis is very frequent. There is high rate of karyokinesis, but cytokinesis takes place at very low rate. As the cytokinesis is taking place at a very low rate or even absent, there is no cytokinesis. What happens then? There is formation of thousands of nuclei within a cell. that is multinucleate condition will form. So PN divides mitotically by only free nuclear division without cell wall formation. So there is formation of large number of nuclei. Large number of nuclei. This multinucleate condition is there na? Multinucleate condition of endosperm is called nuclear endosperm. Nuclear endosperm is formed upon division of primary endosperm nucleus by mitosis, but there is only free nuclear division is taking place. Cell wall formation is not taking place for every nuclear division. Normally in cell division, every nuclear division should be followed by cell wall formation, but here cell wall is formed. As there is no formation of cell wall, there is accumulation of large number of nuclei within a same cell, single cell. That is called as the free nuclear division or nuclear endosperm. See here, suppose a primary endosperm nucleus is there. This primary endosperm nucleus, first nucleus will be there. That nucleus will divide into two nuclei. Two nuclei will be divided into four nuclei. Four nuclei will divide into 8 nuclei. Like that, there is formation of many nuclei. More nuclei, even thousands of nuclei are formed within a single cell. This type of endosperm is called as a free nuclear endosperm. There is formation of free nuclear endosperm like this. Okay. Example: maize, wheat, rice, capsula, like that. Maize, wheat, rice, capsula, sunflower, coconut water. Coconut water is free nuclear endosperm. Liquid water of coconut is free nuclear endosperm, whereas white kernel is there now, white meat of coconut, what we are eating. In coconut, we are drinking coconut water, liquid form. That is an example to free nuclear endosperm. White meat at white kernel, white meat of coconut, what we are eating, is an example to cellular endosperm. Okay, complete this. See next type, cellular endosperm. What is second type of endosperm? Cellular endosperm. In cellular endosperm, which is opposite to this nuclear endosperm. What happened during nuclear endosperm? There is only nuclear division without cell division or cell wall formation. But in nuclear endosperm, cellular endosperm, second one. In cellular endosperm, there is nuclear division followed by cell division or cytokinesis is there after karyokinesis. Cytokinesis takes place for every karyokinesis. Every division of every nuclear division of primary endosperm nucleus is followed by cell wall formation. As cell wall is formed after every nuclear division, then the formed endosperm is called cellular endosperm. Karyokinesis followed by cytokinesis. Every nuclear division, that means every karyokinesis is followed by cytokinesis. Once the nucleus divides during endosperm formation, every nucleus is covered with a cell wall. Okay, that is called as endosperm becomes cellular form. So, from beginning of endosperm formation, from very beginning, where primary endosperm nucleus is single cell, from that first cycle or first step of cell division or mitosis, from very beginning, this endosperm becomes cellular. Each and every nuclear division is followed by cell division. This is called what? Cellular endosperm. This is seen in Datura, Petunia, Balsamia, etc. In Datura, Petunia and Balsamia, we can observe cellular endosperm. Okay. Not only here, mostly dicot families show this type of endosperm. Mostly dicot families, around 72 families of angiosperms. Not only this, example, 72 families of angiosperm. Show this type of endosperm, that too mostly dicots. In most dicots, there is formation of cellular endosperm. In Datura, Petunia, Balsamia, along with the Datura, Petunia and Balsamia, 72 families of angiosperms, which are mostly dicots, show cellular type of endosperm. What happens during cellular endosperm? See here, when this primary endosperm nucleus is dividing, I am writing like this. When primary endosperm nucleus is there, this will divide. So when it is dividing, it becomes cellular. Cell is dividing. Further it is divided means there is formation of many cells with many nuclei. Each and every cell have a single nucleus. There is formation of many cells in this. Every cell has a single nucleus only. There is no multinucleate condition. This we can call cellular endosperm. Cellular endosperm is the result of the formation of cell wall after every nuclear division. Note down that. Okay, is it complete? Then third type. Third type is Hilobial endosperm. It is seen in an order of family called as Hilobiales. The formation of Hilobial endosperm is seen in the members of an order called Hilobiales of angiosperms. It is intermediate type of free nuclear and cellular. It is intermediate type of nuclear and cellular endosperm. It is not fully nuclear, it is not fully cellular. As it is intermediate between that nuclear and cellular both, this is called as Hilobial. Not only that, it is found in Hilobiales. That's why it is called as Hilobial endosperm. See what happens. Primary endosperm nucleus divides and forms two cells. What are the two cells is? One, micropylar cell. A cell at micropylar end, which is large cell. Second one is chalazal micropylar, right? Not micropylar cell. If I write micropylar cell, you may consider that itself as a micropyle. Now, there is primary endosperm nucleus division, and by that division there is formation of two cells. One cell at micropylar end, second cell at chalazal end. So this micropylar end cell is a larger cell, chalazal end cell is small cell. The larger micropylar cell, what happens this? This undergoes free nuclear division followed by cell wall formation. Free nuclear division followed by cell wall formation. That means at the beginning there is no cell wall formation. So there is formation of more number of nuclei within a single cell. Then cell wall is formed. For every nuclear division, if there is cell wall formation, then one cell has only one nucleus. But here there is free nuclear division. Free nuclear division means there is formation of more number of nuclei at the beginning. As there is formation of more number of nuclei, then there is a formation of cell wall. So more nuclei are formed at the beginning, then cell wall is formed. There is formation of many cells, each cell with many nuclei. But in free nuclear division, single cell has many nuclei. But here only cell wall formation is there, but along with the cell wall formation, free nuclear is there, division is there. So that each and every cell has more nuclei. That is the difference between that nuclear endosperm and this Hilobial endosperm. And this cell which is at the chalazal end, that will not divide, may remain or undivided, or may undergo free nuclear division. It may not divide, that means it remain undivided, or few nuclear divisions. See, primary endosperm nucleus is undergoing division and there is formation of two cells. One cell, a large cell at micropylar end and a small cell at chalazal end. The large cell which is at micropylar end is undergoing free nuclear division. That means, let us consider there is formation of 1000 nuclei. Free nuclear division, 1000 nuclei are formed. After that, what happens? Cell wall is formed. 1000 nuclei are formed. So one cell has 1000 nuclei. That is the nuclear endosperm. But after formation of 1000 nuclei, then cell wall forms. Suppose 1000 nuclei are grouped into 10 cells by cell wall formation. Cell wall is formed later. That means the 10 cells are formed. 1000 nuclei are there. 1000 nuclei will be distributed into 10 cells. That means each cell has around 100 nuclei. That is not fully nuclear. That is not fully cellular. It is a cellular endosperm, but each cell has many nuclei. That condition is called as coelobiyal endosperm. Okay, this is seen in some plants like Eunumerus and Asphodelus. Coelobiyal is best example I told you. In Heliobilus also, Eunumerus, Asphodelus. Eunumerus and Asphodelus are the examples of coelobiyal endosperm. In these plants, these are belonging to Heliobial order. In these plants, there is formation of cellular endosperm, but with a large number of nuclei. That is called as coelobiyal endosperm. Copy that. Fate of endosperm. What is the fate? Fate means function. See, what is the function of endosperm means? As endosperm undergoing cell division and there is formation of more cells, as the endosperm develops, it fills new cellus of egg. Sorry, not egg, new cellus of ovule. In ovule, at center there is presence of new cellus. Where embryo sac is formed? See this? This is the nucellar region. Outer integument, inner integument. Inner this there is presence of nucellus. Inside this nucellus there is development of embryo sac. This embryo sac has a antipodal, synergids and egg, and here there is formation of primary endosperm nucleus. As fertilization is complete, I told you, synergids will degenerate, antipodals will degenerate, and this primary endosperm nucleus is developing into endosperm. Here egg is there, egg undergoes syngamy and there is formation of zygote. Zygote will develop into embryo. As this fertilization is complete and primary endosperm nucleus is undergoing cell division, by cell division, mitotic division, this endosperm is growing and it fills all the nucellus. It fills nucellus. Nucellar region of this ovule is filled by the developing endosperm. Okay, and during the process of this embryo, after that what happens? During the process of embryogenesis, endosperm is consumed as food for developing embryo. For the developing embryo, there is requirement of food. That food is supplied by the endosperm. During the development of embryo, the endosperm supplies food for the endosperm, developing embryo. And that's why I told you, it must, we can say, it is must to develop endosperm before embryogenesis. Before the embryogenesis, there must be development of endosperm, because for the development of embryo, there is requirement of food. That food is supplied by only endosperm. So endosperm should form before the embryo. That is very important point. And I told you already, endosperm may be fully or partially consumed by developing embryo. That embryo development is done during the developing of embryo from zygote. Endosperm, which is previously formed before embryogenesis, right? That endosperm may be fully used for the embryogenesis, or that endosperm may be partially consumed for the development of embryo. If endosperm is fully used for the developing of embryo, then that seed has no endosperm. That type of seeds are called as non-endospermic seeds or X-albuminous seeds. And if endosperm is partially consumed for the developing embryo, then the seeds have some remaining endosperm inside them. Seeds have some more endosperm even after the completion of the embryo formation. That type of seeds are called as endospermic seeds or albuminous seeds. See the two types. One is albuminous or endospermic seed. I told you, what is albuminous or endospermic seed? If some more endosperm is present in the seed, then that seeds are called as endospermic or albuminous seeds. If endosperm is partially consumed by embryo, seeds have endosperm in that seed. These are called so. During the development of embryo inside a seed, if endosperm is partially consumed means endosperm is not fully used for the developing embryo. As the endosperm is not fully used, some of the endosperm is remaining in that seed. That type of seeds are called as this albuminous seeds or endospermic seeds. Why some students are leaving the session? Udaya, if anybody is leaving, then I will enable waiting room. Once you leave the meeting, you cannot rejoin. Remember that. Albuminous seeds are endospermic seeds. Datura, castor, coconut are endospermic seeds. Datura, castor, coconut, some cereals. In Datura metal, Ummati, castor, we are using castor oil now in that castor seeds, and coconut and some cereals. In that there is a remaining of some more endosperm. That's why it is called as endospermic. Why it is called as albuminous? Albuminous means it is a major kind of a protein. It is a nutrient protein. Albumin is a protein, especially this endosperm is storing a food resource like protein also. Some more endosperm is present means some proteins are present in that seed. That's why it is called as albuminous seed. Second one, X-albuminous or non-endospermic seeds. Here, if the endosperm what is forming there, if endosperm is fully consumed by embryo, when embryo is developing after endosperm formation, if this endosperm is fully consumed by the developing embryo, then that seeds have no endosperm. Seeds have no endosperm. These are called non-endospermic seeds. These are called so. They are called as exalbuminous or non-endospermic seeds. Okay, we can see this non-endospermic seeds in grams, green gram, Bengal gram, pea plants, groundnuts, and not only that, in bean, soya bean, cluster bean. So in grams, pea plants, groundnuts and bean, there is no endosperm remaining in the seed. Endosperm is fully used for the development of embryo. So that seeds are called as non-endospermic seeds or exalbuminous seeds. Okay, these are types of endosperm. Then another type is there, perisperma. What is perisperm means? I told you already during the post-fertilization event, transformation of floral pod. Remnant of nucellus. I told you, nucellus will degenerate. If it is persistent, it is called as perisperm, I told you. Remnant of nucellus. In ovule, there is presence of a central important part called as a nucellus. Inside that nucellus, there is development of embryo sac. Embryo sac is giving both endosperm and embryo. But after formation of fertilization, and during the formation of this endosperm and embryo, there is degeneration of the nucellus. But if nucellus is remaining some more, remnant, if nucellus is not fully consumed, if some portion of nucellus is remaining, that remnant of nucellus is called as perisperm. Okay, here we can see this perisperm in Piperaceae family. Piperaceae, beets like beetroots. Okay, Piperaceae, beet, Nymphea, water lily. In the plant, we can observe perisperm. Perisperm is the tissue like endosperm where it is developing from the remaining nucellus. If nucellus is not fully consumed, then it is called as perisperm. That perisperm is observed in Piperaceae, beets, Nymphea, etc. Then next type of nutritive tissue called chalazosperm. Here, the prominent tissue with loosely arranged cells is called as this one. It is developing from the cell division of chalazal end. Cell tissue. We can say it is a nutritive tissue. Nutritive tissue formed from cells at chalazal end. Like endosperm, it is also a nutritive tissue that is called as chalazosperm. Okay. See, this chalazosperm is a nutritive tissue that provides food for the developing embryo. Okay. See, this chalazosperm is seen in a plant called as cyanastrum. Cyanastrum. In cyanastrum, we can observe chalazosperm. Okay, these are three important types of nutritive tissues. What are the nutritive tissues? Nutritive tissues include callosperm, perisperm, and endosperm. Okay, note down that. Then I will start embryo. Okay. Sir, I am Budaya attending class with Kavi due to some network problem. Okay. It's okay. Then see embryogenesis, next stage of post-fertilization event. This embryogenesis is very critical and a complex process that is differing in both monocot and dicot. In dicots and monocots, we will see different types of embryo formation. See, embryo. What is this embryo means? What happens after fertilization? After fertilization, we call egg as zygote or oospore. Zygote or oospore is the egg after the fertilization. How this zygote or oospore is formed is the result of syngamy, where there is a fusion of egg cell with a male gamete. One male gamete fuses with the egg cell and there is formation of this one. Okay, this zygote develops into embryo. Zygote develops into embryo. This embryo is the heart of the seed, or it is the main part of the seed, because embryo has totipotency, where generation of the new plant is mainly based on the function of embryo only, and that formation of zygote developing into embryo, formation of embryo from zygote, this process is called embryogenesis. Embryogenesis. Embryogenesis is the formation of or development of embryo from the zygote. Okay. See, zygote, which is formed after the fertilization, is developing into embryo, right? But actually, zygote does not develop into embryo soon after fertilization. Zygote does not develop into embryo soon after fertilization. That means immediately it is not developing into embryo. As it is not developing into embryo, but it enters a rest period. Once a zygote or oospore is formed from the syngamy upon fusion of egg and male gamete, that zygote or oospore is undergoing a rest period. It is entering a rest period. This rest period may be few hours to months also. The rest period of zygote may be some hours to months. After that rest period, it will develop into embryo. Here, but that development of embryo is two types. Development of embryo is different in monocots and dicots. In monocots, embryogenesis is following one method. In dicots, embryogenesis is following another method. But At early stages of embryogenesis, they show similar pattern of embryogenesis. That means at the beginning of embryogenesis in monocots and dicots, there is the same process taking place for the development of embryo. Embryo development is the same in both monocots and dicots at the beginning stages. Whereas at later that show difference. Simply, what is the difference between monocot and dicot embryogenesis? I will tell you point, then I will explain mechanism with diagram. See, development of embryo in monocots and dicots is same at the beginning. Almost more than 50% of the process is same from beginning. After that, what happens? After that, embryo is divided into two cotyledons in dicots. Embryo will divide into two dicots or two cotyledons in dicots, and there is no division of embryo into cotyledons. If embryo is divided into cotyledons, two cotyledons, that seed is called as dicot seed. If embryo is not dividing into cotyledons, then that is called as monocot. Why this is monocot seed? Why it is dicot seed means? Monocot means one cotyledon. That means there is undivided embryo. Embryo is not divided, only one set or one part or one structure of embryo is there which is undivided. That is monocot seed. If embryo is divided into two cotyledons, embryo is dividing into two cotyledons, then it is called as dicot seed or dicot embryo, monocot embryo. Dicot seeds have dicot embryo where there is presence of two cotyledons. Monocot seeds have a single cotyledon of embryo where undivided embryo is there. That is the process. See, the development of a dicot embryo. I will draw the diagram and explain that. In tomorrow class, I will give notes for that diagram. Note this point, then I will erase the board and I will draw the diagram. Question: nucellus or nucleative remain in perisperm? Is nucellus, yeah. Perisperm means nucellus is not fully degenerated. Some part of the nucellus acts as nucleative tissue. That is called as perisperm. For if embryo is formed without endosperm, how it gains food? That's why I told you. For in majority of plants, there is endosperm formation followed by embryogenesis. Without endosperm formation, embryogenesis will not take place. But in Orchidaceae family, endosperm formation is suppressed. Suppressed means there is no full rate. Endosperm will form at less rate. Okay. See, embryogenesis in dicots. Dicot embryogenesis. See, what happens during dicot embryogenesis? Zygote or oospore is the result of syngamy. This oospore first divides mitotically and there is formation of two cells. One is a basal cell, second one is a terminal cell. One is basal cell, second one is terminal cell. And this development of dicot embryo, we can say endoscopic, apex towards inside. From outside to inside there is growth. outside to inside there is growth. That's why it is called as endoscopic growth. I will tell you later. So basal cell and a terminal cell, two cells are formed. First basal cell is there na. Basal cell divides transverse division, later divides longitudinal division. Basal cell is undergoing division, which is transverse division, and terminal cell is there. That terminal cell is undergoing longitudinal division, so that there is formation of a cell or group of tissue with T-shaped. This cell is there na terminal. This is undergoing division like this. There is formation of like that. There is formation of cells. Then next stage, what happens? The large cell which is present at end, it will grow and it will become a cell called as haustorium cell, haustorial cell, and these cells are again dividing. See here, this is a 4-celled state. 4-celled state is then developed into 8-celled state. Like that, there is further growth. A large cell at end is called as what? Haustorium. And the cells which are present between haustorium and this unit, they become suspensor cells. This is further dividing, and there is a formation of many tissues inside this. There is formation of different types of tissues there. Here like this, there is formation of a globular shape of embryo. Then this globular shape of embryo, here I will tell you, this is called as haustorium. This is Pastoral cells. The cells which are present here are called as suspensor cells, and here it has all type of parts of that one called as there is presence of root tip, root cap, there is presence of different parts like root cap cell will form here, root cap cell, root tip cell is formed here. The outer layer forms dermatogen, which is a meristematic tissue, which is a type of histogen. Dermatogen, procambium, ground meristem. The middle layer is there now. This is ground meristem of embryo. Center, there is a procambium that gives xylem phloem. Dermatogen gives epidermal tissue system. Ground meristem gives ground tissue system. Then what happens here is the suspensor cell will pull this embryo inside. From this to inside, this will pull the developing embryo. As it is pulling the developing embryo inward, see how there is a change taking place in the embryo. That embryo will be pulled like this. As this embryo is pulled inwards, this will convert into a heart-shaped proembryo. Then this heart-shaped proembryo will be fully pulled inside that. Then it appears like this. Finally, there is formation of, maybe 5 minutes more, diagram space. Where can I draw? Here I will draw. Next stage. Like that, it is fully pulled. So heart-shaped proembryo is then turned to like this. Then, after complete filling of that proembryo, that dicot embryo is looking like this. For this diagram especially, you can refer textbook of NCERT. With many cells, there is pulling of embryo. So from here it is completely filled inside. So these two are separated. Now these two are called what? Cotyledons of this seed. These are called cotyledons. If you see that cotyledon structure, it is appearing like this. Dicot embryo will be appearing like this. Is it visible? Yeah, visible only. This is the shape of dicot embryo. Okay. These two we can say cotyledons. Cotyledons. What is cotyledons? Due to suspensor of this dicot embryo growth. That embryo which is globular shape, that is pulled inside that, so that two cotyledons are made. That is two cotyledon. Okay, this is called plumule. Plumule, you know, plumule is responsible for what? Shoot formation. This is epicotyle. No space. I'll write here. This is ground meristem. This is a plumule. This part. This part is epicotyle. Here there is a presence of radicle. Radicle is responsible for what? Root formation. Radicle is covered with, radicle, is it visible? Radicle. I will write here better. Radicle is responsible for the development of root system, that is covered with root cap. This is the development of embryo in dicot pig. This is the diagram for dicot embryo. I will be in the meeting. You can copy this diagram. I will explain this process along with this diagram in tomorrow class.